This is the Our Voice 360 podcast, our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. This podcast was created with you in mind. On Our Voice 360, we'll give you inspiration, sports, business and leadership tips, Black history, and entertainment. This is a show built from our perspectives. So if you're ready to be entertained, inspired, laugh a little, be informed, and enlightened, tune in now to Our Voice 360. Let's go! Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Our Voice 360, our perspectives, our ways. I'm here as one of the hosts, Chad Bumgarner, obviously, 1/3 of the trio. I have with me my man Pete Hunt.
What's good, family?
And Mike is not with us today, but in spirit. So we'll get with Mike in a little while. So with that, Pete, let's go ahead and get into it.
As always, our show is brought to you by Elect Graphics and Photography. Allow your visions to become reality. And CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to comment on the show, how we're doing, what you want to hear, what you don't like, anything of that sort, please contact us at our email address at ourvoice360@gmail.com. That's ourvoice360@gmail.com. All right, folks, today we're going to touch on a few things. We're going to start out with the debacle that's going on down in Texas. Of course, we're not talking about the storm, but how they are dealing with the storm. We want to get into that a little bit about what the governor and one of the mayors of the towns in Texas, what he had the audacity to say. And we'll also touch on Miss Naomi Osaka and Serena match. Very good match at first.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap it up with Deshaun Watson. What's the future for him and the Dallas Texans? The Houston Texans. Woo! I'm trying to combine teams here. But yeah, let's go back and let's jump on this winter storm. So if you have not been living under a rock, you should be well aware by now that there was this huge winter storm that, if I'm not mistaken, came from Canada, and it swept through the U.S. from coast to coast. And in that storm, it hit Texas pretty hard. And we all know Texas is a warm state. So we kind of gather and understand that Texas is not going to be equipped, to handle a winter storm of this magnitude. But they are really in tough shape, Pete. And the comment that the mayor from one of those cities or towns in Texas, the comment that he made that the Texans should do and not do, to me was disrespectful and a bit disturbing. I mean, you've got some people that are really going through a tough time right now. We're talking about no water in the homes, no heat, because Texas is natural gas. But the pipes are so frozen, they can't get the gas through. So you've got a lot of people like in their cars just trying to stay warm.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? They have warming centers from what I've heard on the news, but those are filled to capacity. The hotels are filled to capacity. So people that were not able to get to either of those locations are stuck at home, bundled up or trying to find some firewood if they have a fireplace.
Right.
It's really bad right now. And I can't remember the mayor's name, but he basically told them to suck it up, man. He told them to go ahead. Take it from there. Cause
the
speechless.
Gentleman's name, the former mayor name is Tim Boyd, and the city is Colorado City, Texas.
Thank you. Keyword is former. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Former mayor, because quickly after the tweet that he sent or the post that he sent, he quickly resigned because of all of the backlash. So basically, what he said was, we're in the situation in Texas. So basically, you need to sink or swim. It's not the
Stop
government.
looking
It's
for a
not. Yeah,
handout.
yeah. It's not the. I paraphrase. It's not the government's issue to help you, and that's the problem now. We have too many people wanting to take handouts and not take responsibility
Mm.
for their own. And I'm sitting there like, wow, that's a pretty bold statement when you have these major cities in Texas with no power, and you have the governor Greg Abbott going on different news forums, Fox News and other places talking about it's the fault of the Green New Deal of what's going on in Texas, which is funny to me, thinking that the Green New Deal has not even been brought into effect in Texas or anywhere else for that matter. So
They
how
still
can the
trying to
Green
vote on it.
exactly? So how can the Green New Deal affect your lack of concern for your own people in your state? That's what it basically boils down to.
Well, I
And
think
a
a lot
lot,
of the conservatives said that the windmills caused it.
yeah. When the windmills are roughly around 10% of the power that is generated through
If
Texas.
that.
If
Mm-hmm.
that, exactly. So no, it wasn't windmills. No, what it was Texas a long time ago said that they didn't want to be regulated by the federal government.
Right.
So they basically took their own power grid. They
Mm-hmm.
separated from the rest of the United States
Right.
because you have the West Coast, the East Coast power grid, and then you have Texas
That's correct.
with their own power grid. So basically, when they did that, that basically let a bunch of rich folk hog up
Do what
all
they
the
want.
profit, do what they want and hog up all the profit because there's no regulation. Because of course, in their mind, we're in Texas. It's hot in Texas. There's no way. There's going to be a winter storm that comes through and tears up, our whole state and our whole power grid. No, that could never happen. Oops.
Let me add with that. Now there was and I just found this out on the news the other day that there was an audit done, uh, with the factories, the gas factories that provide the
Mm,
gas to heat the homes and use for cooking.
right.
Did an audit several years ago, and they told them that this place is not insulated correctly or enough to
Hmm.
handle something that just happened, like this snowstorm or whatever. And they said it's
Hmm.
it's only a matter of time, especially with the global warming going on, and that's been a big issue lately.
Hmm.
And weather has been weird for the past
Yeah.
several years.
Right. Right.
But they pretty much ignored that report,
Hmm.
and because the plant or the factories have not been weatherized, I guess, or
Exactly. Exactly.
insulated enough, this that added to
Hmm.
the issues that they have right now. But to go back to what you're saying, you're right. They were deregulated
Hmm. Yeah.
when it comes to the gas, so they could do whatever they wanted to do.
Hmm.
And this is a result of it. Now you have thousands, if not millions, of people in very, very bad shape.
Yeah. And and what frustrates me about it is that this is not a time to be blaming anybody.
Right.
Fix your state. You're the governor of Texas. Fix your state. This is not to be talking about the Green New Deal. This is not to be blaming AOC or blaming progressives or blaming Democrats or whoever. Your job, Greg Abbott, as the governor of Texas, is to take care of your constituents and stop getting on TV and do your job
Right.
because the Republican Party in Texas did all of this to the state of Texas. I mean, they were the ones that pretty much made it this way as far as with the power grid.
The
I mean,
deregulation.
and
Yeah.
then in the deregulation, because like you just said, Chad, with that deregulation, guess what? People don't come in and audit your power grid as they should if it was federally regulated. There would
Hmm.
be certain baseline levels that you would have to be on for it to work, right? So you would have to have a base level. Okay, your insulation needs to be here. Your pipes need to be insulated this way. You need to be winterized this many times a year, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
If it's regulated, they didn't want that. That's why they're in the position they're in, because the gas lines froze up, the natural gas lines froze up. So, and a lot of their power deals with their water. That's why their water is not functioning. So it was just a snowball effect of bad stuff to happen, and this is what happened. This is the result of bad leadership, basically.
And to add to this, somebody's stock down there soared, and his last name ends with Jones.
Mm-hmm.
His stock went through the roof.
Right.
So, at other people's peril, somebody else made a bunch of money. But I mean, that's how it usually works. And it's usually the pain and suffering of the poor and disenfranchised that makes people even richer. You look at as going on with the pandemic, the same thing. Poor people and disenfranchised people are taking the brunt of it, but it's a whole lot of rich folk that's making money hand over fist the vaccine
off of their peril and off of their situations that they're in. But Texas has to do better, and it really shows how inept the things that's going on in Texas, how inept their leadership is. And
my
it's
thing
sad.
Is that mayor, not the governor, but the mayor that made the state. How do you kick your own people in the face when they're already down? And who all said that they were looking for the government to do anything? It may have been some, you know what I'm saying? But I think as a mayor, when you have a situation like this that's kind of bigger than you, I'm going back to what you said, Pete. Your first thought should be to aid in any way that you can.
Mm-hmm. How do I help my people?
How do I help my people?
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure neighbors are already trying to help each other. The cities, individual cities, are trying to figure out how to, get the power turned on, how to get the water working, how to get the heat working. What are you as the mayor of your town? What is it that you're doing for your constituents? Just like you said, what are you doing other than getting on Twitter? Stop looking for a handout. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, sink or swim. Well, it's easy for you to say when you're probably sitting in heat with a plate full of hot food, with a nice shower running for you when you finish. It's easy for you to say and do that.
Yeah, I have a I'm gonna read this quote out of that diatribe that he wrote on I think it was either Twitter or Instagram. Only the strong will survive and the weak will perish. Wow. That in itself, just that one line alone, just lets you know this gentleman's mentality. Are you kidding me? And then on top of that, hold on. I pay my light bill every month. I pay my power bill every month. I pay my water bill every month. I expect some services to not fall apart when a winter storm comes through.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for a handout. I'm asking for what I pay for. Or I pay for. So I mean, and it's really sad because as of right now, because that live in Texas and that's going through it right now, the price gouging that's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like hotels where their prices might have been, say, $100 a night. They're charging people $700-800 a night for the same room that you can get for $99.
They should be charged for that, criminally charged for that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I read an article before we came on that a lady that normally pays, I think she said she pays like $66 a month for her power bill.
Mm-hmm.
Her power bill is $2,500.
Yeah, I heard about that. People are gonna be
So
paying thousands of dollars. Yeah, for
thousands of
power.
dollars for something that was not in their power. I mean, they didn't have control over this winter storm coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, like we just said earlier, people are going to profit off of other people's pain, and that's
Yep.
sad. And
It's
and
really sad.
and it's extremely sad. And I pray for those people down in Texas right now that's going through it, because I saw something yesterday that I would never thought I would see in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, something that we see in developing countries and quote unquote third world countries. People were walking up to a spigot in a
Mm-hmm.
park with Gatorade jugs and milk jugs and buckets getting fresh water. I mean, a line of people. And it was just, I'm thinking, this is America, right?
That's crazy.
I mean, you had people at, I saw a HEB grocery store, which is big down in Texas, HEB grocery stores. It was a line almost a mile long, people waiting to get groceries. How does that work? I mean, how does a winter storm caused all of this in probably the richest, one of the top three richest states in the country?
The strong will survive, but the weak will perish.
Man, man, like I said, and just the lack of leadership in this state has really shown in this situation.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
It's really shown in this situation, and to take it one step further, as of yesterday, we saw one of the Texas senators on
I was getting ready to
A
get to that.
United
You beat me to it.
Airlines uh uh taking him and his family to
Yeah.
Cancun. Ted Cruz,
Yes,
who's
sir.
getting major backlash right now
As he
because
should.
exactly, Chad, as he should, because your state is struggling. You have millions and millions of people out power and water and food to eat. But you
And where you
take
at?
but you take your family to Cancun, Mexico. And what's even more crazy about this situation, wasn't he one of the proponents to building the wall
Yes, he was.
between Texas and Mexico?
Yes, he was.
Why you going to Cancun if you don't like Mexico?
Yes,
If
he
you're trying to
was.
build a wall between the
Yep.
United States and Mexico, but you're gonna go to all of this
Yep.
is jacked up. All of this is jacked up, bro. All of this is jacked up.
Yeah, he's not looking real good. He hasn't looked good to me in a while, man. That man has lost a lot of respect from me, and to me, his integrity. He sold his soul.
Yeah,
He sold his soul. I mean, like we said before off air plenty of times. Anytime you let another man, another person, get on national TV and insult and disrespect your father and your wife, and you say and do nothing,
yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah. I
lost
got
all respect. All respect.
Well, I mean, he didn't have my respect to begin with because he's been that type of person for a long time. But again, about the certain people calling his wife ugly and all calling his daddy out, this, that, and the third. I got to see you every day on site.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't
It's
no
gonna be a
secrets.
situation.
It's gonna be as Bernie Mac would say, it's gonna be some furniture moving.
Yes, sir.
You better have the Secret Service on standby, brother, because I'm coming to see you every day. I'm gonna be like a nightmare in your dreams, dog.
Hey, Pete, what the young people say? On site.
On site, dog. On site. I got to see you on site, dog. You
On
know what I'm
site.
saying? Yes, sir.
It's gonna be on site.
Every time I see you, you say what? You say what about my wife, huh? I mean, it
Hey,
is
what
what
was
it is.
that segment? Said the entertainer, he was standing up there pretending to be the president. What you say about my wife? You gonna bring that up in front of all these people about my wife?
In front of
Oh,
all these people. Exactly. In front of
oh,
all these people.
hell no, no. Something would have to happen. There would be
Yeah.
repercussions.
Yeah. For real. but it's just again, it goes back to the leadership in the state of Texas.
It does, man.
How I mean, but what's so crazy, Chad? These same people in these situations who don't have food and water and power are gonna turn around and vote those same jokers back in.
Not only that, those are the same jokers that ran up in the Capitol, hollering
Wow.
and fussing, talking about taking back their government, taking back their country, making America great again.
Mm,
These are the same people.
yeah, you're
These are
exactly
the
right,
exact
sir.
same people, and these people in office know that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what you know what? That's for another time. Let's stay on this right now. Let's stay on this right now because the people like that they really frustrate me.
Hmm.
You are in peril right now, and
Yeah.
your leadership is doing nothing.
Absolutely nothing but finger pointing. And what's even crazier than that, these people that are in that party, that Republican Party, they're on social media trying to stand up and justify a Ted Cruz going on vacation. Well, what could he do if he was here? What do you mean? He's the senator of the state. You can't tell me he can't pick up the phone and something to happen.
And
I mean,
how do you say this? It shows a person's integrity and empathy. That's what I'm looking for.
yeah, yeah.
When you go through it with
Hmm.
your people.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't necessarily have to physically do anything, but if people see that, hey, as your senator or governor, I'm out of
Hmm.
hot water too. I'm out of heat too. Me and my family are
Hmm.
bundled up over here, trying to
Hmm.
stay warm. We wish you all the best. I'm gonna try to talk to FEMA or whoever, see what I can do to get
Hmm.
going. But let's hang in there. I'm with you. Ain't gotta roll up your sleeves and do nothing. If people see that you are
Hmm.
with them,
Yeah, it's real
you
simple.
got loyalty for life.
Yeah,
You got it because you've proven yourself.
mm,
I am not necessarily, no, let me take that back. I'm not above you. I am
mm,
serving you in
hmm.
the Senate and in my home state of Texas. I am a
Right.
servant of Texas.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's not an
Hmm.
employer employee. I am your servant.
Hmm.
And that's where they lose it. When people first get into politics, they have it so clear and you can see it that they're on track. But it's
Hmm.
something about when you've been in politics for a while, it's like you gotta get dirty. You for some reason you can't stay clean. You gotta get dirty. Either you
Hmm.
get dirty
Hmm.
or if you stay clean long enough, they're gonna spin stuff on you so bad to whereas you have no say so. You have no,
Hmm. Hmm.
no power, no nothing. And
Yeah.
it's sad, man.
Yeah,
It's sad.
it really is. And like I said, I feel like I said I have family down in Texas right now
Me
that's
too.
going
Me
through
too.
it. So yeah, I pray for those people, man, that everything works out because again, as of this morning, they said actually now that power is being restored in certain places, and I think they said that now it's under a million people without
Mhm.
power now. So we went from a few days ago over 4 million people. Now we getting to the
Under a
point where
million.
it's under a million. So they are having some progress. But
But there's another
again,
storm coming though.
exactly, it is. It's another storm coming.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, in the next couple of days, it's coming right
Hmm.
behind it. So we may be in the same situation again. But again, it goes back to what are you doing for the people as a leader? What are you doing for your people or your state? Are you busy trying to disenfranchise people from voting? Is that your main cause, or are you fighting the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban, telling him he has to play the national anthem at his games? Is that
And
what's
people
most?
are dying, and you worried
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Mark playing the national anthem.
Is that what's important, or is it uh uh getting your power grid fixed? Or is it,
Right.
making sure your people are safe, making sure your people in your state are safe? And to tie this all up in a nice little bow, Chad, I'm just gonna leave you with this. In November,
Mm.
these same people in Texas that's struggling right now and asking the government for handouts and we need to, the government needs to send us, Joe Biden needs to send us FEMA and send us blankets and generators and ask for help. In November, these same people was trying to secede from the United States.
From the United States, yep.
Ain't that something?
Yep.
Now, back in November, these same folk that's talking was wanting to secede from the Union. We'll be all right. We Texas. We can handle our own. We don't even want to be part of the United States no more. And now you begging.
Now you hurting.
Please,
yeah.
Now, please help us. Please help us. These same people who say they don't like socialism. Socialism is nothing. You know what the government doing for you? It's called socialism. When they send them blankets and that water and that food down to your state, that's socialism. See, people, that's another story for another day, Chad. We might need that. We might need to have a podcast on that. But again, these same folk that can go out that don't want to be regulated, that don't want to, no socialism, should nobody be getting handouts, yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. When it looked like people like us, people want that socialism and those handouts because we need help and we struggling. Hold on, but a few days ago you were saying something totally different when it didn't have to deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
That it's something when something's not happening to you and then it happens to you, then you like, oh, that's why they feel the way they feel. Like you said, Chad, that word you said earlier, it's about empathy.
Mm-hmm.
It's about empathy. And it's just those people down there in Texas are strong, and I know they're gonna work through this problem, even with inept leadership. But this country has to be better, man. We have to do. I mean, this leadership has to be better. It has to be better, man. I'm telling you, because
Dave Chappelle said what I said on the last podcast. America saw itself in the mirror for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it scared the dog snot out of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we as African Americans have been saying it for years that there's a problem with this government.
Tried to tell you, man.
Nobody wanted to listen. They thought we was crazy. They thought, well, maybe it's something you're doing. Okay, well, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's you versus you. Mm-hmm. Same thing in Texas. It's you versus you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm
it's
telling
you versus you.
And I was telling my wife yesterday. It's Mother Earth has a way of showing you better than telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Earth is she gonna correct that thing. Guess what?
She gonna survive us long after we gone. She's learned how to do that. Mm-hmm. Every time when we mess with the earth, it's like Mother Earth is getting a fever. But see, she knows how to heal herself. Mm-hmm. And if it means a lot of us got to get hurt in the process, it is what it is.
It is what
Mother
it
Earth's
is.
gonna outlive all of us. People
That's
don't understand that.
Man, they don't understand that. And my thing is this: look here, you don't want to put your mask on, and you won't walk around without no mask, and get people sick. Guess what? We going to put all of you in the house. We going to sit everybody down. How about that? Mm-hmm. Everybody gonna be in their house. It's fun. It's funny how that thing work now. It's funny how that thing work.
And it's stuff that's so simple. Who would have thought a winter storm? You know what I mean?
Things need to be corrected now. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Only God.
That's it, man. I'm trying to tell you.
You ain't got no solution. God, I got all under control.
Yeah, Mother Earth was like, look here. All right, I got something for you. We gonna bring some snow and ice, and we gonna just tear this whole and not only Texas, Louisiana too. Louisiana's the same thing.
All the way to the East Coast, and it's like the doctors were fearing, and we're still talking about Texas and this winter storm, but the doctors were fearing that this the coronavirus would spread during the spring and the summer. But I don't think we're gonna have to have that problem because these winter storms is locking everybody down.
I'm trying to tell you,
they're locking everybody down.
It's gonna get figured out one way or the other. One way or the other. I'm saying, look, as the old folks say, We can do this the easy way
Mm-hmm.
or the hard way.
Or the hard way.
Hard way. Either way, the lesson's gonna be learned.
It is. It's gonna be taught.
learned. It's gonna be taught, and you're gonna learn it.
What Kevin Hart said, you're gonna learn today.
You're gonna learn today. I'm trying to tell you, man. Praying for those people in Texas, man, Louisiana, down the south. For real.
Let's move on to Miss Osaka and Miss Williams. Like we said off air, well, like you said off air, you know, when the match started, looked like Serena was locked in. Like it's gonna be another classic. But then Miss Osaka turned into Voltron and said, "Not today."
Yes, sir, buddy. Yeah, man. Naomi Osaka is Serena. She's Serena now when Serena was in her heyday. That's who she is. That's who she is. And found out something last night during that match also. At 23 years old, she is the highest grossing female athlete of all time. At 23 years old. She just came on the scene, 2 years ago?
About 2 or 3. Yeah.
The highest grossing female athlete ever. I mean, that says it all right there. And last night's match, you know, as black folk, you know, we want to see greatness, our black greatness on display, and it was on display, but it was so hard for me because I love both of these women as athletes.
It's like you watching the sunrise on one and the sunset on the other.
Chad, great analogy.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic analogy because you have arguably one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen in Serena Williams, male or female. One of the greatest athletes we've ever seen on the tail end of her career. And then you have this fantastic athlete in Naomi Osaka that's coming through and just tearing stuff up. She's just out here tearing stuff up. And it's just a great thing to see as a people. It's just the chatter on Twitter and Instagram yesterday was phenomenal leading up to this match. I mean, it was just like we were celebrating and was like, we don't want either one of them to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it was a celebration, and I mean, it was I think it was Jamel Hill that tweeted yesterday that said, to all black people, we gonna watch this like we all cousins. We gonna watch this like we all cousins. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So there was a celebratory feeling about this match that happened last night. And then when ultimately Osaka won, we were happy, but we were also sad because we see the GOAT on in the twilight of her career.
Yes, sir.
On the twilight of her career, but you have this young lion coming in behind her. Lioness, I should say, coming in behind her, which is also great. But it's hard to watch one of our greats on the back end of his or her career. It's so hard to watch.
That match, you could arguably say that we literally watched the torch being passed.
Oh, yes, sir. Without a doubt. And even after the press conference after the match, Serena was so emotional because she knows. She knows. I mean, she knows the writing's on the wall. She knows. But any athlete knows, Chad, we were both athletes, not to that level, of course.
Right.
But even it's
in hard to hang them up.
Even in our small level of athleticism, it's hard to hang it up, man.
It's hard to hang
it up.
Yeah.
Look, because I remember. I remember when I had to hang it up. I was in Ridgeview, dog. Yeah. I ain't going front. We both know Ridgeview from where we from.
Yes, sir.
I was in Ridgeview. And one of them I was playing, and one of them little boys crossed me up and made me stumble. You know, I took pride in my defense.
Your defense. You was the glove, huh?
No, I took pride in it. I look, I'm gonna lock you up and I'm gonna hit this 3. Now I ain't gonna jump over you. I'm not gonna do all that. I'm gonna hit these threes in your eye, and I'm gonna lock
Right.
you down defensively.
Step back.
That's what I'm gonna do. And this young fella, Chad, he crossed me up so bad, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. Ain't nothing I can do. I can't do this no more. I can't do this. I
It
can't do
is
it.
what it is.
I
Yeah.
love this game, and I love playing, but I can't. My body's like, nah, G. Nah, G, you gonna sit
It's
on
that
down.
time.
Take that time, brother. And a real quick story. My father always told me growing up, cause my father was a phenomenal basketball player.
Yes, he
My
was.
father did a lot of not only as a coach, but my daddy played big time people back in the day, the David Thompsons and the Artis Gilmores and people of the James Worthies and the people of that ilk. My daddy was on that type of level when it
Mm-hmm.
came to this game of basketball. And my daddy always told me, he said, son, when I come in this house and my shoes are draped over my shoulders, I'm done. And he came in the house one day and he had his shoes draped over his shoulders. And my daddy never played again. He was true to his word because he knew. Any athlete knows, when it's that time. And like I said, Serena was so emotional last night in her press conference because she knows. She
Right.
knows. She knows
Right.
the passing of the torch. If it didn't happen last night, it's real soon. And I wouldn't be shocked if after this round of Grand Slams that she hangs it up. I would not be surprised because now it's not about her.
Mm-hmm.
She has little Olympia. She's a wife now. She's a mother now. She has to take care of that little 4-year-old she has at the house. Is she willing to sacrifice even more to become a champion? Is that even in her DNA anymore? You know
Right.
what I'm
Because my
saying?
thing is, she's already a champion, Pete. We
Oh
both know
yes.
that she's
Yeah,
accomplished everything she
yeah,
set out to, and then some.
yeah,
In my
yeah,
mind, I mean, there's nothing left for her to prove.
yeah. Oh yeah, because
Nothing.
she walks out the GOAT. I mean, she's the
Yeah.
GOAT of her sport.
Right.
And it's like I said, the only thing that she can attain is having the most majors, which
Mm-hmm.
she's one behind Mark. She needs one to tie Margaret Court, two to pass her. And honestly, Chad, I can't see it happening unless something miraculous happens in one of these majors that Osaka gets knocked out early,
Or
Halep get
hurt.
knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halep gets knocked out early, or something crazy like that. Because if especially with Osaka, if Osaka gets to the semis and she has to play, or she gets to the finals and have to play her, it's a wrap.
Right.
Yeah, it's a wrap. And like last night was the championship. That was the championship because neither whoever won that other semifinals, whoever they were, was gonna lose to either Serena or Osaka.
Or soccer. Yeah.
So last night was basically the championship. So again, it was just great to see those women displayed on this high of level of tennis, and it's just a great thing to watch our sisters out here putting in work, man, putting
Yeah.
in work. And this young lady is 23 years old, Naomi Osaka, and is already the highest grossing female athlete ever at 23, and she's just scratched the surface of what she's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, boy, that man, it was just a great night, just a great Black Pride night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
it really was. It really was.
Indeed. But let me ask you something, man.
Yes, sir.
If you was Deshaun Watson, what's going through your mind right now? What are you thinking?
If I'm
Because they let
Deshaun,
JJ Watt go. JJ Watt is
yeah,
gone.
uh, and people are upset about the J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson situation, and people are asking why would J.J. Watt come to them and say, I want to be let go, I want to be released, or I want to be traded, yada yada yada, and they let that happen, but they're still trying to hold on to Deshaun Watson. Let me explain something to the people out here in the Our Voice 360 world that listen to us. They were going to let go of J.J. Watt regardless. He was getting up out the paint regardless. They owe this guy almost $20 million next year. Coming up, almost $20 million. He played 5 games last year. And every year it seems that, first of all, his production goes down because he can't stay on the field.
Yeah, he was plagued with injuries.
He can't stay on the field. And I'd be doggone if I'm going to give you close to $20 million and you play 5 games, brother. You got to get up out of here. You got to go. You got to go. So
Right.
that was apples and oranges in that comparison. Deshaun Watson is 25 years old. He just led the league in passing without a number 1 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there throwing to me and you, Chad, at this age, not a high school age, at this age. He was basically throwing to my granddaughter. That's the people he was throwing to.
Mm.
And this dude led the league in passing. This dude is 25 years old. He is a top 5 quarterback. No, I'm not going to just let you walk. No, I can't just trade you, dog. I got to get everything. I got to get some other team's offensive line. I need your whole offensive line, your whole defensive line, your next 5 first-round draft picks, and I need
and your offensive defensive
coordinators. Bruh, you know the things you got to give me to get Deshaun Watson? Just from a business standpoint, I know the Houston Texans are an organization. They're terrible.
So what's going on? Why is Deshaun wanting to leave? Is it something happening in the front office? Is it locker room troubles?
It has nothing to do with the locker room. It's all front office and ownership. You have a guy that's running the Texans who's never ran a franchise in his life. He was he's a preacher. He was their chaplain. He went from chaplain to running the organization.
Only in America.
How'd that work? You went from a chaplain to running the organization. That's the main problem. And then you had a head coach at the time, O'Brien, who traded away DeAndre Hopkins for peanuts.
The dumbest move. How could you do that?
You trade DeAndre Hopkins for peanuts. Basically a broken down running back. You trade away his number 1 receiver. You already having issues anyway. He's already not trusting the front office anyway, even though he signed that big contract. I'm not walking away from no money. I don't care how mad I am. I'm gonna get this money. I can talk about being mad later.
Right.
But he's in a situation where the Texans are an awful organization. They're an awful organization. You trade away all these great pieces that you have. You get rid of J.J. Watt. And it's just a situation where he's not going to win on any level.
Okay,
it doesn't
but
matter.
Couldn't it also, I mean, a part of this, couldn't it also be locker room issues? Because J.J. Watt did get on national TV and pretty much throw his team under the bus, talking about, you don't want to come to work.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game. We get paid a lot of money to play a game.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to come in and watch film. You don't want to come in and lift weights.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to come. If you don't want to come in to work and give these people who pay their hard-earned money to come see us, if you don't want to give them, their money worth, then you shouldn't be here.
Right. But
I'm taking that to be like, there's some prima donnas in there that are really becoming cancers to the team.
And that could be the case, but I think it's more with Deshaun, it's more front office. I think it's more front office than anything, because if you look at the move that they've made and you look at their leadership, it's awful. These Texans are one of the worst awful run organizations in the NFL. They're terrible. And if I'm Deshaun, I want out of there too. But the thing that he has in his pocket is he has control of where he goes. He has veto power to any team.
If they're not letting him go anywhere, then
I mean, and that's true. That's true. But he can still control where he goes. So as of right now, I read an article yesterday that there was a deal in works. They were trying to have a deal with the Jets, and he was like, "Nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going. I'm not going to the Jets. No. And I see it as a situation where Deshaun wants to go to Miami because they're a quarterback away. Defense is great. Head coach is great. Organization is great.
So you're saying bench my man from Alabama?
He's in the package. I'm trading.
Mm.
I'm giving you Tua first round picks for Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
Tua's on his way to Texas. Because I got Deshaun Watson. I don't need you no more.
Right.
I'm good. So I see Miami as a possible destination if they can get, and for the Texans, it's about them getting a quarterback.
Right.
So any team that can give them a quarterback or get them in a position to draft a quarterback, Miami also has that because they have Tua and they have the third pick this year in the upcoming draft, which they can get one of the top 3 quarterbacks coming out.
Yeah, that one from Clemson. They probably got their eye on him too. Came out of Georgia.
You got Trevor Lawrence.
I mean Clemson, but he went to high school. Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he went to high school down here in Georgia, in Cartersville, and then went to Clemson. So
right.
I know he's on somebody's radar.
Yeah. He'll be the number 1 pick. He's going to Jacksonville already. That's pretty much set in stone. And so with the number 1 pick, so you have a couple.
You got your boy in Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah, you have Ohio State. Then you have another kid out here that's really good. That's probably go top 5 or at least top 6. So I mean, Miami has everything that they want. You can have Tua and the third pick in this upcoming draft. But Deshaun Watson, you can have it, bro. You can have it. But
Miami didn't do too bad this year, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So at least 500, right?
Oh yeah, they were over 500. So the defense is really good. They have a great head coach, great coaching staff. Owner is great, and it's Miami.
Right.
It's South Beach. I mean,
exactly.
Hey. So
outside of that, the best other place is Tampa.
Yeah. Where else are you going to go? I mean, and then we're hearing words of Carolina. And,
I was thinking that would be a good fit for him.
Carolina is willing to give up the farm.
New England might be a good look for him because I don't think Cam is going to come back.
I'm not going to New England for what? They have no weapons. I'm not going to New England for the work to play in the cold. No. I want to play where it's warm at. Where it's warm. You know, he's from Georgia, so I ain't trying to go up to no cold. Yeah, I'm not trying to go to no cold play. I went to school at Clemson. I'm not trying to no. So Carolina is willing to give up the house, 3 first-rounders and Christian McCaffrey for Deshaun Watson. Wow. that I mean, hey, David Tepper is not playing here in the Carolinas. He's not playing. He said, I'm willing to give up whatever I need to give up. You want Teddy Bridgewater, you can have him too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Ted been pretty solid though.
Ted was awful this year. No, Ted was terrible this year. That's why they want Deshaun Watson. Yes, Teddy was terrible. So that's why they want Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson that's a generational talent right there. Deshaun Watson is not a stopgap. Teddy is a stopgap quarterback. I mean, even though they gave him a 5-year deal, he's a stopgap guy. Okay, we're gonna ride you until we can find Deshaun Watson. If we can get Deshaun Watson, we're gonna cut you tomorrow. Hope you saved your money. Go find your backup job somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I think it's only a handful of teams that's gonna be able to go up and grab Deshaun Watson if the Texans are willing to trade. And if they are willing to trade, you are going to have to give up everything. You're going to give up a whole lot to get them.
Yeah, and because if they let go of Deshaun, they're going to need an instant.
Yeah, team. And that's why and that's why I keep saying Miami. That's why I keep saying Miami. If I'm the Texans, I'm gonna get Tua, and I'm gonna get the 3rd round pick this year. So if I get Tua, I can go ahead and fill out another. I can go get Smith from Alabama or another O lineman or another D lineman.
I would go get a weapon. I go get a good receiver because you got Tua. I go get a good weapon and maybe either a receiver or a running back.
Yeah. So either way, the ball is in Houston's court, and again, the card that Deshaun Watson has in his pocket is I have veto power of wherever I go. You know what I'm saying? I can veto, like, okay, we're gonna mess around and we're gonna send you to Chicago. Nah, I'm not doing that. We're not sending me to Chicago. You find another team. So right now, I think probably the two best landing spots for him since news this morning that Carson Wentz was traded to the Colts, because the Colts would have been another great situation for him.
Yeah,
Fantastic offensive line, great young running backs, great young receivers. That would have been a great place for him, but they traded for Carson Wentz this morning.
I don't know
So
why.
yeah, Carson Wentz has no excuses now. We're going to put that little blurb in there. He has no excuses now, because every piece he needed that he complained about in Philly, he got in at the Colts. And if he can't succeed at the Colts, you wasn't a really good quarterback to begin with. But anyway, back to Deshaun. Though there's only
I agree.
Yeah, there's only a couple places that I would say he would want to go to, and I would say Miami would be one, because of their just because they're just great organization, and they're on the way up. Carolina, if you want to go be back close to Clemson, or close, and that's not really home, because Atlanta's home for him. But
yeah, I was meaning Clemson though. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Clemson. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Clemson, back at close to your school you went to, yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. After that, after those two, those are the two on the front burner for me. That would be really great situations for him to go to. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see if the Texans are willing to give him up. We are. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting. And it's already been really interesting. But to see this play out, we're going to see who blinks first.
Right.
And one more thing before I wrap this up. If he doesn't get traded, is he willing to sit out? Is another good question. Is he willing to sit out?
Think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he willing to sit out? If you're dug in this deep into this about leaving Houston, are you willing to sit out games to prove your point? So I mean, it's a lot of things.
Well, if he sits out, he can get fined for that, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, he'll get fined for it. But if you stacked your paper right, yeah, I mean, he should be fine. Yeah, he should be fine. I mean, and force them to make a decision. Either trade me, or you're not gonna see me. One of the two. So, that's where it stands as of right now.
Mm-mm. Well, Pete, we appreciate the sports insight on that, because I know a lot of people were wondering what was going on. So we appreciate that insight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna try to add a new segment to the show. It's called the Book of the Week. And this is where, Pete and myself, we will introduce a book that either we are currently reading or want to read. Is that right, Pete?
Yeah, or a book that we have read that we want to let you guys know, that give you more information. It's because knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be very studious in the things that we do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, as the old saying, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. We want to dispel that saying.
Indeed.
Here at Our Voice 360, because
indeed,
because it's about being studious. It's about learning. It's about getting different things from different aspects and from different people. So we want to call it the Our Voice 360 Book of the Week. So we want to let you guys know, like Chad said, of books that we've read, or books that we're currently reading, or books that we want to read that's out here, that's going to give you insight to our people, and that's going to probe your mind, probe your thinking, and that's what we're here for. That's what we want for our people. We want us to be and I mean, we want to end that stigma of people, black people not willing to learn, not reading, not willing to learn, because there's a lot of us out here that do. And we just want to pass these books on to you guys to perk your interest in, not only reading, but gaining knowledge. Yeah,
because it's all about insight.
Yes, sir.
And you can have a better, I don't want to say an argument, but you can have a better conversation with people when you have some insight. other than the media. And I know what we do
Mm-hmm.
is part of media, but you have
Mm-hmm.
to understand media, just as powerful as it is in a good way, it's powerful and dangerous in a bad way, because
Exactly.
media will give you the vision of a situation the way they want you to see it. They will tell
Mm-hmm.
you or show you a vision
Mm-hmm.
or a version of the
Mm-hmm.
vision that they want you to see. And
Mm-hmm.
it was I forgot who the brother was. He was like, "Where do you think the word television comes from?" They're telling you a vision. So when
Mm-hmm.
you turn on the TV, no matter what channel it is, whatever they're talking about, they're telling you their version of the vision or the
Mm-hmm.
situation that's going on. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just as
Yeah.
important to pop open a book and read, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
documented information,
Mm-hmm.
and to sharpen your intellect, so that whatever you see on TV, you can pretty much tell
Mm-hmm.
how true it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like back in the old days when they talked about the Bible. It's like you can either sit up here and listen to this pastor or whoever preaching, but it's a whole lot better when you know the word for yourself, so you can
Mm-hmm.
gauge when that
Mm-hmm.
person is in line with the word, or when they veering off and be like, nah, that's not Bible. I don't know where he got
Mm-hmm.
that, but that
Mm-hmm.
ain't in the Bible. So
Mm-hmm.
reading, excuse me, reading is very very important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It allows you to get other perspectives, excuse me, and gain a lot of insight, because it's better to look at a situation from a 360-degree view as opposed to 45 or 30-degree view. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because when you're trying to come to a solution, it's easier to come to
Mm-hmm.
a solution when you have multiple
Mm-hmm.
types of insight and information, as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
just one certain way. So, um, yeah, the book of the week is going to be a great addition to this podcast, because we're all about providing insight and
Mm-hmm.
education when we can as
Yeah.
well.
And it's also going to spotlight black authors
Mm,
that you may have heard of or you may not have heard of, because there's a lot of great authors out here, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, that a lot of us as black people we have never. So we also want to spotlight these authors also when we start this. Actually, we're going to start next week. So on next week's podcast, we will have our first Our Voice 360 book of the week. And not only that, we're not going to just give you the book. We're also going to give you an outline of the author of the book and their background and their
mm,
education, and you know what I'm saying, and give an outline of that also. So we want to, like I said, Chad, we want to pique your curiosity and strengthen your knowledge. And a big thing with me as far as our people is letting folk know that our history didn't start in 1619.
hmm
That's not where we started. We didn't start. Our history don't start with slavery.
That's right.
I am a big proponent of wanting people to know, especially our people, because it's been plugged and beat into our brains. That's when we started. I can't tell you how many slave movies they have made,
hmm
whether it be Roots or 12 Years a Slave or Django or whatever. They are quick to put us in a slave movie. But if it's anything going towards our country, Mother Africa, they don't never look like us. All these Egyptians look like white. No, no, that ain't how it worked. That ain't how it worked. Charlton Heston wasn't Moses. That ain't what Moses looked like.
Mm. Not out
Come
there in
on,
that
man.
hot sun day after
You
day.
know, you know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's about learning, not only learning our culture since we've been over here since 1619. It's about us also learning our culture before we got here, and also learning things that's going on in our country as Black people today, whether it be voting rights or different situations that we go through. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is something that I hope our listeners and viewers really take serious. That this, because this is something that's coming from our hearts, something that
Indeed.
that we want to share with you guys. So again, like Chad said, we want to start this next week with our first book next week, and we'll go from there. And I hope that you take the books that we suggest, and you'll go out and read them. Go out and buy them. Go out and read them, or go to your local library. Go find it at the library. So I mean, we just want to bring this portion to the show too.
Indeed. 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 So we're gonna wrap up the show with a Bible verse or thought from the week. Any thoughts, Pete? Last minute thoughts before we wrap up with the word?
Uh, to all my people, stay strong out here, man. Stay strong, man. Stay strong, because as we go along in these travels, especially in this time with the height partisanship that's going on in our government, and people moving in silence to go against our people, we have to tighten it up. We have to come together as a people. We have to mend whatever fences that are broken in our families, in our homes, in our communities, because right now all we got is us.
That's it.
And I hate to say it that way, but honestly, the way this is shaking down and the way this is looking right now, the way people can just run up in capitals and not get prosecuted for it, the way cops are dealing with our people, our men and our women and our children, it's not a real safe place for us, our people, right now. So we have to come together as a people. Exactly. So and we have to come together. We have to be strong in our communities. We have to be strong in us as a people. And so, and that's all I had. That's just on my heart, Chad. And it's been bothering me here for about a week, man. We have to come together as a people, man. We have to do for self. At some point, we got to do for self.
Yeah,
So,
it starts with us and it ends with us. I think it was Dave Chappelle that was saying, real quick, I'm gonna jump into the verse, but I think if I heard him correctly, that he was saying if the government would really solve the problems of the black people, as far as the wealth gap and education and all that, 90% of America's problems will probably go away, or be resolved. Will probably be resolved. So. Yeah, all we got is us, man. It starts with us, it ends with us. We have to work from the inside out. And that means with our families, and then with our neighborhoods, and then our communities, our towns, cities, on out and on out and on out. That's how we're gonna have to work this thing.
Yes, sir.
So each one teach one, and that's what we're trying to do here. This show is like a barbershop feel to it, where people express their feelings and opinions. But at the same time, there's some facts in there. There's some truth. And as always, it's our perspectives.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's our perspectives. I'm coming today to you from Acts chapter 2, verse 17. And it reads, "In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit upon all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions, and your old men will dream dreams." All right. As the old folks always said for years and years, we're living in the last days and times. And I really believe that. So we need to make sure that we are on the right side of history. And we need to make sure that we are doing what it takes to please God, so that we can be prepared for whatever, whenever. I'll just leave it like that. And to all the listeners and viewers, we appreciate you watching and listening to the podcast as always. And like I said at the beginning, if you any information that you want to give us, or you want to make a comment, we have a YouTube page, Our Voice 360. Go out and just do a search for Our Voice 360. You can comment on the videos, or if you want to send us some information as far as being a sponsor, or something you'd like to see, or maybe something you don't like, email us at ourvoice360@gmail.com. All right.
And
again,
also,
thank you so much.
One last word. Also, we will be also bringing in different people to talk. So if you speak with us, you know what I'm saying, and interview different people here, hopefully in the next few months. So also, if you want to be on the show, you want to be on the podcast, you can also hit us up on ourvoice360@gmail.com.
Indeed.
If you want to be a part of the show. And like I said, we want to start this in maybe the next couple months to actually have people on the show and to discuss different subjects. So that's coming up soon too. So
indeed. All right, party people, thank you for tuning in. And as always, be safe, be blessed, and we're out.
Peace.
Peace.
If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when a new show drops. Please rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. Also, if you'd like to advertise or become a sponsor, please send an email to ourvoice360@gmail.com with your inquiry. We'll connect with you as soon as possible in hopes of creating a great partnership. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Our Voice 360. Our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. See you next week.